Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to replace the spark plugs on a Honda S2000. According to the owner's manual, the spark plugs should be replaced every 105,000 miles. I'm going to be replacing them on this F22C with around 100,000 miles that I recently swapped into my AP1 daily driver. The first thing you want to do is remove the spark plug cover. Use a 5mm hex drive to remove the 4 bolts holding the spark plug cover in place. Next, you'll want to remove the ignition coils. Use a 10mm socket to remove the 4 bolts securing the ignition coils to the cylinder head cover. Once these are removed, you can disconnect the 4 ignition coil connectors. Then simply pull the ignition coils out of the spark plug tubes. Now you're ready to remove the spark plugs. Use the spark plug socket with an extension to loosen the 4 spark plugs and remove them from each spark plug tube. I recommend using a magnetic spark plug socket since it makes pulling out the spark plugs super easy. Once the old spark plugs are out of the car, you can inspect them with a spark plug gap tool. A spark plug gap tool is simply a tool for measuring the gap or clearance between the spark plug center and ground electrode. The service limit for a spark plug is 1.3 millimeters or 0.051 inches. All of my spark plugs were around 0.047 inches, so they were still good, but I decided to replace them anyway. Before you install the new spark plugs, you want to inspect them as well. The gap for new spark plugs should be between 1 millimeters or 0.039 inches and 1.1 millimeters or 0.043 inches. If you buy OEM spark plugs, they should come gapped correctly from the factory. In my experience, this has been true and I've never needed to adjust the gap myself. Use a spark plug socket with an extension to tighten the 4 spark plugs inside each spark plug tube. The owner's manual will recommend that you torque the spark plugs to 13 foot-pounds, but after many incidents of spark plugs coming loose and destroying motors, I would recommend torquing the spark plugs to 24 foot-pounds. According to Billman, the OEM spark plug won't break until it reaches roughly 80 foot-pounds of torque, so you should be fine. Now insert the ignition coils into the spark plug tubes and connect the 4 ignition coil connectors. Use a 10mm socket to reinstall the 4 bolts securing the ignition coils to the cylinder head cover. Torque them to 8.7 foot-pounds. Then use a 5mm hex drive to install the 4 bolts holding the spark plug cover in place. The last thing you want to do is turn on the car and take it for a test drive. Make sure you don't have any check engine lights or any engine misfires. With your new spark plugs, you should be good for another 105,000 miles. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and smash the subscribe button if you'd like to see more. As always, feel free to leave a comment down below with a video you'd like to see in the future.